This is the highest honor one can receive for a career in motion pictures, the American Film Institute's Lifetime Achievement Award. I'm Henry Fonda, and last year I was honored to receive it. Tonight, it will be presented to Alfred Hitchcock in recognition of his 55 years as a remarkable director and producer. On behalf of the American Film Institute and its 90,000 members, I invite you to join us in a celebration of the career of Alfred Hitchcock.
Congratulations to the American Film Institute, who tonight acknowledge what our audiences have known for 50 years, that Alfred Hitchcock is an adorable genius. Dear Hitch, I've come all the way from London, from your hometown, to give you my love and affection. One might say that Hitchcock is a gentleman farmer who raises goose flesh. For all of us fans, and we are a legion, we are here tonight to thank you for all the fun and all the fear that you have given us through the years. And I want to thank you personally for a little thing that has helped me all through my career, and it's been quite a long career. You see, Hitchcock is very careful when he prepares a film. He writes everything down on paper. Every little detail is on paper. It's in the script, he'll say, if anybody asks about wardrobe or props or anything that belongs to the movie. It's in the script. But then the actors come along, and we don't always behave as we do on paper. Some of us have ideas. And then Hitch gets a little truculent. Oh, yes, he can get that. I remember our first argument must have been in Spellbound in 1945. Something I said, oh, I don't feel like that. I don't think I can give you that kind of emotion. And you sat there and you said, Ingrid, fake it. Well, Hitch, that was the best advice I've had in my whole life. Because in all the years to come, there were many directors whom I thought gave me quite impossible instructions and many difficult things to do, and just as I was on the verge of starting to argue with them, I could hear your voice come through the air saying, Ingrid, fake it. It saved a lot of unpleasant situation and waste of time. You have that rare gift of being able, in detailed clarity, to show us on film so that we can all share it with you. And that is what makes Alfred Hitchcock an artist.
Thank you. That's very kind of you, ladies and gentlemen. Especially since my friend Alfred Hitchcock is supposed to have said once that actors are cattle. Now Hitch denies that. What he says, he said, is that actors should be treated like cattle. Amazing, man, amazing. He's thoughtful, he's amusing, he's immaculate, he's articulate. His mission is to entertain. You sort of get a feeling that Hitch's life is as well planned as his movies. Everything's sort of laid out in advance, right down to the last detail. And like most people who began in silent films, it's the action that count more than the words. You know? I remember in the picture, The Man Who Knew Too Much, we were doing a scene in London's Albert Hall, and I was to chase Doris Day up the stairs while the London Symphony was playing. And I had to say a lot of words during that chase up the stairs. And it was a long speech, and it sort of cleared up a lot of the story, too. And I'd worked hard on those words, and on action, I chased after Doris and just talking my head off. And at the end of the scene, Hitch said, "Cut," and he said, "Let's do that again. You were talking so loud I couldn't hear the London Symphony." He says, "As a matter of fact, let's just cut the whole speech. You just follow Doris and look tense." Well, I argued about that. I considered the speech important. But he insisted that the words interfered with the music, which was more important. Now, when you work with Hitch, you don't try doing a scene two ways. You do it one way, his. Well, Hitch, I'd like you to know that every time I've seen that movie, I've tried to remember that speech on the stairs, and I never can. You were right. We didn't need it. All we need is you.
Mr. Hitchcock once described his migration from England to the United States as a kind of cultural exchange. But nobody knows what was sent to England in return, he said. They're afraid to open it. What America received in that migration and what the world shares is one of the most original talents of our age. How rare it is for any artist, playwright, composer, painter, or poet to produce major works with regularity for over 5 decades. Like D.W. Griffith and Sergei Eisenstein, those pioneers who first gave form to film language, Alfred Hitchcock has made an historic contribution to the aesthetic of filmmaking. And this contribution came not in 1 or 2 films in a flashy show of innovation, but steadily, continuously, meticulously, in a body of work which displays an immaculate articulation of both image and sound. He shared his knowledge in a lecture at the Film Institute. He said it simply, he said it directly. "I have no interest in pictures that I call photographs of people talking. I have that white rectangle to fill with a succession of images, one following the other. That is what makes a film." There is no better way to present Alfred Hitchcock than with evidence of his capacity for creating suspense by his use of his imagination and ours. Ladies and gentlemen, there is only one master of suspense. From the American Film Institute, Hitch, with our great respect.
May it please Ambassador J, Queen Ingrid, Director Stevens, and my co-conspirators in this bizarre trade of making films. It has been my observation that man does not live by murder alone. He needs affection, approval, encouragement, and occasionally a hearty meal. Tonight you have provided me with 3. Well, out of 4. Anxiety strangled my appetite. This demonstration of your approval and affection has encouraged me. I will go on. It makes me very proud indeed to be the recipient of the American Film Institute's Lifetime Achievement Award. It is especially meaningful because it comes from my fellow dealers in celluloid. After all, when a man is found guilty of murder and condemned to death, it always makes him feel much better to know it was done by a jury of his friends and neighbors with the help of an inadequate attorney. It will tax your endurance and mine to recite the names of those thousands of actors, writers, editors, cameramen, musicians, technicians, bankers, exhibitors, and a variety of other criminals who have contributed to my life. I beg permission to mention by name only 4 people who have given me the most affection, appreciation, and encouragement, and constant collaboration. The first of the 4 is a film editor. The second is a scriptwriter. The third is the mother of my daughter Pat. And the 4th is as fine a cook as ever performed miracles in a domestic kitchen. And their names are Alma Revel, had the beautiful Miss Revel not accepted a lifetime contract without options as Mrs. Alfred Hitchcock some 53 years ago, Mr. Alfred Hitchcock might be in this room tonight. Not at this table, but as one of the slower waiters on the floor. I share my award, as I have my life, with her. Now let me share something with those promising young people who have earned their Alfred Hitchcock fellowships. When I was no more than 6 years of age, I did something that my father considered worthy of reprimand. I don't recall what transgression it was. At the age of 6, it could have hardly involved a serving girl. Whatever, father sent me to the local police station with a note. The officer on duty read it, then locked me in a jail cell for 5 minutes, saying, "This is what we do to naughty boys." I have, ever since, gone to any lengths to avoid arrest and confinement. To you young people, my message is, stay out of jail. Someday, one of you may be standing here with this American Film Institute award. That's what they do to good little boys.